Hi guys, Victoria here. I am bringing you today another travel vlog, this time from Dublin, from Ireland, where I have been working in the past week. And after I finished working, I stayed for the weekend to discover the city of Dublin. Let's talk about Ireland and Dublin and jump right into this video. Ireland is an island. Surprise, surprise. It is situated in the North Atlantic Ocean in northwestern Europe. It is separated from Great Britain to its east by North Channel, the Irish Sea, and St. George's Channel. Ireland is the second largest island in the British Isles, the third largest in Europe, and the 20th largest on the whole world. Geopolitically, Ireland is divided between the Republic of Ireland, which covers 5/6 of the island, and Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. Dublin is the capital and largest city of Ireland, situated on a bay on the east coast at the mouth of River Liffey. At the 2016 census, Dublin had a population of almost 1.2 million. Following independence in 1922, Dublin became the capital of the Irish Free State, which was later renamed to Ireland in 1937. Dublin is a contemporary and historical center for Irish education, arts and culture, administration and industry. The area of Dublin Bay has been inhabited by humans since prehistoric times. Dublin celebrated its official millennium in 1988, meaning the Irish government recognized 1988 as the year in which the city was settled. Similar to much of the rest of northwestern Europe, Dublin experiences a maritime climate with mild, warm summer, cold winter, and a lack of temperature extremes. Dublin's sheltered location on the east coast makes it the driest place in Ireland, receiving only about half of the rainfall of the west coast. The Dublin region is the economic center of Ireland and was at the forefront of the country's economic expansion during the Celtic Tiger period. The Celtic Tiger is a term referring to the economy of Ireland from the mid-90s to the late 2000s as a period of rapid real economic growth fueled by foreign direct investment. In 2009, Dublin was listed as the fourth richest city in the world by purchasing power and 10th richest by personal income. Economic improvements in the 1990s attracted a number of global pharmaceutical, information and communications technology companies to the city and the greater Dublin area. Companies such as Microsoft, Google, Amazon, eBay, PayPal, Yahoo, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Pfizer now have European headquarters or operational bases in the city. Now we are entering the Trinity College, which is the sole constituent college of the University of Dublin. Queen Elizabeth I founded the college in 1592 as the mother of a university that was modeled after the collegiate universities of Oxford and Cambridge. It is one of the 7 ancient universities of Britain and Ireland, as well as Ireland's oldest surviving university. The college's main campus has often been ranked among the most iconic in the world and is the setting for a number of novels, films, and urban legends. Widely considered one of Europe's elite institutions, Trinity is Ireland's most prestigious university, in part due to its long and distinguished history. The library of Trinity College is a legal deposit library for Ireland and Great Britain, containing around 7 million printed volumes and significant quantities of manuscripts, including the Book of Kells, which arrived at the college in 1661 for safekeeping. The collection housed in the long room includes a rare copy of the 1916 Proclamation of the Irish Republic and the 15th century wooden harp, which is the model for the current emblem of Ireland. The library receives more than 500,000 visitors per year. The Book of Kells is an illustrated manuscript gospel book in Latin containing the 4 Gospels of the New Testament. It was created in a Columban monastery in either Ireland, Scotland, or England. It is believed to have been created circa 800 AD. It is a masterwork of Western calligraphy and represents the pinnacle of insular illumination. The Famine Memorial is in remembrance of the Great Famine, which saw the population of the country halved through death and emigration. The National Famine Way is a 165-kilometer trail that traces the footsteps of the Storehouse town tenants, men, women, and children, who were marched from Roscommon to Dublin in 1847 after they failed to pay their rent. In Dublin, they boarded the ship to Liverpool before journeying to North America on board of some of the worst coffin ships of the time. Not all of them made it alive. They became known as the missing 1490. The Custom House is a neoclassical 18th century building which today houses the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage. As the port of Dublin moved further downriver, the building's original use for collecting customs duties became obsolete, and it was used as the headquarters of the local government board for Ireland. During the Irish War of Independence in 1921, the Irish Republican Army burned down the Custom House to disrupt British rule in Ireland by destroying tax records. The original interior was completely destroyed in this fire, and the central dome collapsed. A large quantity of irreplaceable historical records were also destroyed in this fire. George's Street Arcade is Ireland's first purpose-built shopping center and one of Europe's oldest city markets. In this enclosed Victorian market, you can enjoy independent boutique-style shops and stalls ranging from trendy, often vintage, clothing, jewelry, funky music, collectible items, souvenirs, along with food options. The Christ Church Cathedral is the elder of Dublin's two medieval cathedrals, the other being St. Patrick's Cathedral. This cathedral was founded in the early 11th century under the Viking king Sihtric Silkenbeard. It was rebuilt in stone in the late 12th century and considerably enlarged in the early 13th century using Somerset stones and craftsmen. A partial collapse in the 16th century left it in poor shape, and the building was extensively renovated and rebuilt in the late 19th century, giving it the form it has today, including the tower, flying buttresses, and the distinctive covered footbridge. One of the oldest landmarks in Dublin is the Dublin Castle, which was first founded as a major defensive work on the orders of England's King John in 1204, shortly after the Norman invasion of Ireland, when it was commanded that the castle be built with strong walls and good ditches for the defense of the city, the administration of justice, and the protection of the king's treasure. Most of the current construction dates from the 18th century, however. Until 1922, this castle was the seat of the British government administration in Ireland. These days, it is a location for the inauguration of each president of Ireland and also various other types of state receptions. One of Dublin's newest monuments is the Spire of Dublin, officially entitled the Monument of Light. It is a 121.2 meter tall conical spire made of stainless steel. Pubs play an integral role in Irish history. Originally, Irish pubs, also known as public houses, were where working men went to drink to avoid paying the entry fees to drink in a private establishment. Traditionally, the church, pub, and the local football club were the three main social outlets for people in rural Ireland. People went to the pub after mass or after a football match, for example. The pub was where everyone met, stories were exchanged, and they all had fun together. Irish pubs are characterized by a unique culture centered around a casual and friendly atmosphere, hearty food and drinks, Irish sports, and traditional Irish music. Temple Bar is actually the whole area, which is Dublin's cultural quarter, and it is the center of Dublin's city center's nightlife, which has the Temple Bar pub itself in it as well. We had lunch in one of the restaurants in the area. Then we made our way to the Guinness Storehouse. However, we never actually entered the Storehouse because we were unable to book our tickets in advance online. We tried with 3 different credit cards and none of them was accepted. I mean, the cards were accepted, but then the purchase just timed out and we never received our tickets. So we couldn't book an appointment or a time slot when to enter. And when we went there, they told us we would have to go back in 1 hour or 1.5 hours. That's when the tills will open for visitors without a ticket. So we decided to not to go back. I anyway was not as interested to go, honestly, and because I'm not a big fan of Guinness. So we ended up instead in a bar nearby where we tried a few different types of beer instead. Guinness is one of the most successful alcohol brands worldwide, brewed in almost 50 countries and available in over 120. It has been brewed at the St. James Gate Brewery since 1759. This is a gin botanical lager, which has apparently tonic on top. It smells very fruity. Or herbal, because it's botanical. Interesting. I like it. It's nice. It doesn't taste like beer. Or a little bit only. So this one is a jerk spice brown ale. It's not bad. I still prefer this one. Let me try the last one. It's the smoked porter, which I probably won't like. These two are actually quite similar. This one has a bit of a more characteristic taste, and this one is a bit blender. But I'm not an expert in beer, so don't ask me. The Samuel Beckett Bridge is a cable-stayed swing bridge. The architect Santiago Calatrava was the lead designer of the bridge. The same architect designed the Punta de la Mujer in Buenos Aires, which has a very similar shape. The shape of the spar and its cables is said to evoke an image of harp lying on its edge. The bridge is capable of opening through an angle of 90 degrees, allowing ships to pass through them. The St. Stephen's Green is a garden square and public park located in the city centre of Dublin. At 8.9 hectares, it is the largest of the parks in Dublin's main Georgian garden squares. The park has a bust of James Joyce, among other things, who was an Irish poet and novelist, and he wrote Ulysses. With the motto, "Don't just visit Ireland, understand it," EPIC, the Irish Immigration Museum, is a place worth visiting. Minimum recommended time of visit is about 90 minutes. Yeah, that is probably not enough if you really want to deep into all the attractions within the museum. So I would say maybe over 2 hours is the best.
In the heart of Dublin's Dublin. This area has a rich, vibrant history. From the earliest days of the city, ships and boats come and gone over the ocean.
In the museum, you will discover that what it means to be Irish expands far beyond the borders of Ireland through the stories of Irish immigrants who became scientists, politicians, poets, artists, and even outlaws all over the world. The museum is located in Dublin's Docklands, covers the history of the Irish diaspora and the migration to other countries. It is a privately owned museum founded by Neville Isdell, former chairman and chief executive of the Coca-Cola Company. The exhibition is made up of 20 galleries, which are each individually themed, and everything is extremely interactive. The museum was opened in 2016 and it won Europe's leading tourist attraction of the World Travel Awards in 2019, 20 and 2021. One thing that bothered us quite a lot was that we were entering the museum with two back-to-back guided tours behind us or in front of us and behind us, and it was difficult to navigate around them, so eventually we just had to wait for them to pass. They were quite much faster than us to enjoy the interactive showcases independently, individually, and to immerse ourselves in all the information that is provided. It is a lot of information, and these guided tours for groups could be useful because the tour guides explain to you very briefly what's going on in each room. However, they go very fast, so they don't have any time at all to look into all these interactive things and discover for themselves. And the guides are so loud that every other visitor cannot focus on anything else, just their voice. So that's something to keep in mind.
Us, the Jewish people, this is no more than a piece of paper, and we shall treat it as such. Thank you, Mr. President.
I have seen UN aid workers enduring shell fire to deliver food to the people of Sudan. Yet I've also seen UN peacekeepers fail to protect the people of Audoen. As the most powerful and inspiring country on this earth, we have a critical role to play in insisting that the institution meet the necessities of our time. We can do so only with American leadership.
So it is that our two nations, divided by distance, have been united by history. No people ever believed that our two nations, divided by distance, have been united by history. No people ever believed more deeply in the cause of Irish freedom than the people of the United States. And no country contributed more to building my own.
87 battles, year before we, and the old major partial to the drop of spirits. Curious she an only child, I an only child. So it returns. Think you're escaping and run into yourself. Longest way round is the shortest way home.
Before our flight back home, we went for brunch to the IV, which was recommended to us by locals. It's a very cute place with amazing interior design, very cozy, a lot of plants, very colorful, very interesting decor. And well, you know, the prices are very Irish. What you can expect from Dublin, high prices. So if you are a budget traveler, maybe don't go to these kind of places. But if you are willing to splurge on a nice brunch, then this place is very nice, and they definitely have a cute ambiance, and it's nice and cozy, and the staff is very attentive, and they have a good service there. And I had Irish coffee, finally, when in Ireland, and just breakfast stuff. Yeah, maybe some of the things are a bit tiny. As you can see, that shepherd's pie was a bit small, but yeah, overall, we had a great experience.
Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is so loud. Getting right over mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark.
Yeah, so this was Dublin and our short weekend in the capital of Ireland. I hope you liked this video. I recommend you to watch my other travel videos on my channel and subscribe if you like my content. I hope to see you at my next video. Until then, goodbye.